Welcome back to the Gamecock News. I'm Natalie and I'm excited to introduce our newest season of the Gamecock News. This year, we're going to be taking a much deeper dive into Sumter High. We'll continue to keep you up to date with the newest announcements, but we'll also recap some of the most important school events as well as spotlight different students and programs that deserve recognition. Since we are jam-packing our episodes with exciting content, we're moving to one large episode every month as opposed to a smaller one every week. We are also planning on creating smaller episodes each month to go between the larger ones so that we can keep you up to date with different student spotlights and events. We're really excited to share everything going on with you, and so let's hand things over to Shiloh with our first spotlight on prom.
Thanks, Natalie. One of the most important events here at Sumter High and at the majority of high schools is prom. The SGA members of the junior class spend months planning and organizing this event to ensure that it is a night to remember for the students that attend. This year's prom theme is A Night with the Stars. If you're at all interested in participating in this exciting event, be sure to purchase tickets as quickly as possible. For the remainder of the month of February, tickets will be $60 per person. But if you wait until March, the ticket prices increase to $70, and in April, the prices rise again to $80. You don't want to miss the best prices, so make sure to see the bookkeeper, Miss Lori Hodge, as quickly as possible to purchase your ticket. Her office can be found in D Hall across from shipping and receiving in the freight elevator. Remember, only juniors and seniors can purchase a ticket. If you're interested in bringing a guest from outside Sumter High, or you would like to know more about the details such as the dress code, you can visit the prom website that is found in the description. Prom is one of the biggest events of the school year, so we hope you'll choose to participate. Let's hand things back over to Natalie.
Let's go ahead and quickly go over some important announcements for this month. First off, tonight at 6:30, Mr. Johnson in the choir department will present the choir magical dinner in the Commons. Your ticket includes a dinner full of pirate-themed fun and singing. Tickets will be available at the door for $30. If you're interested in taking one of the many Career Center courses, there will be an information night at 6 o'clock on Thursday, February 8th at the Career Center. On Monday, February 12th, during the second block, the City of Sumter and the Sumter School District will welcome Chris Singleton, a guest speaker whose mother was a victim of the Charleston Mother Emanuel Church shooting back in 2015, to the Sumter High School auditorium to discuss how he has embraced love rather than hate in the face of personal tragedy. Thursday, February 15th, is Meet the Teacher Night. Let your parents know that they can drop by from 5 to 6 p.m. to meet and chat with your teachers. Junior girls, the American Legion Auxiliary Palmetto Girls Day is coming soon. Applications are due by February 23rd. See your guidance counselor for more information and an application. That's all the announcements we have for this month. Let's go ahead and hand things over to Shiloh to the spotlight and event we have coming up in just 2 weeks.
Thanks, Natalie. The Miss SHS pageant is a yearly event that has been a tradition at Sumter High for decades. This year's pageant is being organized by last year's winner, Claire Sutherland, as well as the SGA advisor, Miss Speed. While neither of the two have ever planned a pageant before, Miss Speed shared some of her prior experiences with us that have helped her ensure that this year's pageant can't be just as memorable as the years prior.
In high school, I was in the Miss South Carolina Teen USA pageant. I love working with students, and planning events is something I've kind of always done. As a kid, I helped my mom and her best friend plan weddings and do other events for church, and so this is right up my alley.
The reason the pageant is so important is that it gives 24 girls from around our school the opportunity to spotlight something that is extremely personal, themselves. The girls who compete break the stereotype of a typical pageant girl. They're in it to push themselves out of their comfort zone and make friends, which not only leads to students who not only have diverse backgrounds and personalities, but also represents many different clubs and organizations around our school. Last year's winner, Claire Sutherland, competed in the pageant both her sophomore and junior year.
My first year, I was terrified. I didn't know what I was doing. I'd never been in a pageant, didn't know anything. But thanks to the help of my dance teachers, they really helped me learn how to walk, what to do, how to act on stage. And last year's Miss Sumter High pageant, I felt a lot more comfortable. I got a lot more bonds through the pageant. I made a lot of friends.
The 6 contestants from each of the 4 classes all compete for a chance to wear their class's crown, but the juniors have the unique opportunity to win it all and become the next Miss Sumter High. Winning the crown is an honor, not just because of the rigorous preparation, but also because the student who wears the Miss Sumter High crown participates in various exclusive activities such as reading to elementary school children and, of course, preparing the next year's pageant. Because of this honor, winning the crown is about more than just looks.
They definitely look for someone who's well-rounded. So like their bios that they read off during evening wear, like it should be full, it should be filled with all kinds of school activities like community service, all sorts of those things. I also think that they look for someone that just radiates joy and just like is there because they want to have fun, not just because they want to win. And you can kind of tell that from people, like you can tell if they're a little cocky or if they're really there to just have fun. I think they do look for someone who's beautiful, but I really do think all these girls are beautiful. So like if I was a judge, I wouldn't be looking for the prettiest girl, I'd be looking for the most well-rounded, nicest, like just most involved in the school. And I hope that that's what they're looking for too.
Bryn Strickland, who is one of the girls competing for the crown, also believes that the winner should possess important intangible qualities.
I believe that they're looking for confidence and someone who has good character. I know you can't really see that throughout everything that we do on stage, but a good character.
If you're interested in seeing who wins the crown, or you would like to support one of the girls competing in the pageant, you can purchase a ticket to the pageant for $12. All of the girls competing in the pageant will be selling tickets, but don't wait too long. Last year, Patriot Hall was completely sold out. The Miss SHS pageant will be in 2 weeks on February 16th. Let's hand it back over to Natalie.
Thanks, Shiloh. The pageant is an event that you won't want to miss. Let's hand things over to Dayshaun to cover another important part of our school, sports.
Thanks, Natalie. Winter sports are quickly approaching the end of their season, and there have been many memorable moments so far. The wrestling team played their last home game of the season on Tuesday night against Conway. The wrestling team only had one senior this year, and so there's a lot of room for the wrestling team to grow as they get older. Despite being a young program, there were many players on the team who made Sumter High proud and were able to compete in their weight classes. Coach Lee, one of the wrestling coaches, said that their young wrestling team was able to establish strong bonds with one another, and these bonds weren't just limited to the mat.
One of the wrestlers' father had planned a birthday party for his son, and he invited all the kids to come with him, and it was a great support. We had about 3 to 5 wrestlers that came and supported him, and the son wasn't even on the team. They went because his brother attended, and we're trying to do something every year to bring team bonding.
Similar to the wrestling team, our varsity boys basketball team is overall very young compared to other teams.
You know, being that we only have, a few seniors, we have a lot of young guys. I think we have 4 sophomores, 5 sophomores, and 1 freshman. They have really taken on the role of really bonding with those guys and kind of bringing those guys up to speed. Over the Christmas break, we were able to do a lot of team building activities and stuff. In our tournament, so we've really been doing a really good job of bonding.
In contrast to the boys' team, the girls' basketball team is led by a few strong seniors, and as a result, they have had an incredible season so far. The girls' team boasts a staggering 18-0 record.
They're starting to feel themselves a little bit. They're starting to understand what it takes to win and play together. So we're in pretty good shape. It's like I told the newspaper the other day when we talked to them. Every time we step on the floor, we want to be taking steps forward. We don't want to be taking any baby steps backwards, and we don't want to take any steps backwards at all. We want to be taking everything on the forward momentum. And so every game that we've played so far, we've done that. We've gotten better every game. Hopefully, our best basketball is still down the road.
Even though their season has been full of success, the girls' team still understands that they need to keep getting better in order to meet their goal of bringing home a championship ring.
You got to keep working at it. You got to keep working at the little things. It's the little things that make the difference. You got to trust the process, because the process is going to take you to where you want to go. But there's always going to be somebody working harder than you. So you got to step up to the plate and work even harder than you think you do, because someplace else, somebody's working harder than you are.
The first round of the playoffs for the varsity girls team will be on February 13th. For the boys, it will be on February 14th. Be sure to keep checking your weekly updates from Ms. Sandor in order to stay up to date on playoff games as our teams progress. Let's hand things back over to Natalie.
Thanks, Dayshaun. We hope that you will go out and support the winter sports and also the spring sports as they kick things off this month. Now let's hear a quick message from Ms. Sandor.
Greetings, Sumter High School Gamecock faculty, staff, and students. This is Ms. Sandor. I would like to praise all of you for an excellent start to the second semester. Teachers, I want to thank you for your resilience, hard work, and dedication you show every day so our students get the best education. You are truly appreciated. I want to thank students who choose to do the right thing and make sure that our school is an excellent place to learn. I just want to remind everyone that for the first 15 minutes and last 15 minutes of each block, students are not allowed to leave the classrooms unless it is a true emergency. There should be no students in the hallways. Students must be in class when the bell rings. The tardy bell is not a suggestion, it is a requirement. Attendance is essential to pass the classes. Students, you must be in all classes and on time. These are the soft skills that define success. Students who miss classes are in danger of failing the course due to attendance. If a student misses more than 3 days for quarter classes, 5 days for semester classes, and 10 days for year-long classes, the student will receive FA. The courses will not be available on APACS for these students, and the only option is to retake the course in person. Sumter High School offers after-school tutoring for all areas and attendance recovery at the same time. The attendance recovery for this semester is already in progress because at the end of the semester, we will not have seat time. If a student has parent notes or medical notes, they must be turned in within 3 days of the absence in the attendance office. Please refer to the principal weekly updates emails for more information. We will continue to enforce the Sumter School District Code of Conduct. Please refrain from committing any disciplinary infractions because we will make sure that Sumter High School is an educational institution where students enjoy learning, feel safe, and communicate appropriately with others. All students must enter the school building and the classroom with their school-issued IDs. It is a requirement to wear the ID at all times. We have many events around the school and you are encouraged to join all of them. We appreciate your support for all our Gamecocks. We need to make the positive so loud that the negative becomes almost impossible to hear. Do not forget that you are learners today, leaders tomorrow, Gamecocks forever. Go Gamecocks!
Thanks, Ms. Sandor, for those important reminders. Now let's turn things over to Sophia, who will be spotlighting one of the most influential programs of Sumter High.
Thanks, Natalie. The IB program has been an important part of our school's academics for decades. In fact, this year's IB class of 2024 marks 20 years of IB at Sumter High. Mr. Wilt, a member of our first ever IB class and also a current IB teacher, was able to provide insight into what it was like to be a part of the Young IB program.
There wasn't as much structure as there is now, so we were kind of learning as the school was learning as well, which I guess gave us some grace and leeway. But it was kind of cool to be the first group to do something. It was a big deal when we first started it. 2003 would be my junior year. So I guess it was just kind of exciting that we were doing this new thing.
Even though the program was so new to the school, Mr. Wilt was still able to experience many of the benefits that IB offers to its students. Specifically, the smaller class sizes that come with IB courses were an important aspect of the program from the very beginning.
I mean, smaller class sizes kind of lends itself to more discussions, and I think things are a little bit more like student-paced and student discovery is more involved. We definitely make more demands on you in terms of like homework and rigor, so maybe there's an upper level of like commitment outside the classroom. But I think just the overall feel of like, we know that everybody who's in the program wants to be in the program, is invested in some educational aspect of the program. So it's cool that like everybody's bought in and we're all here for a larger purpose, not just to like take tests and make an A, but like have real discussions and like a real reason for learning what we're learning.
Not only do smaller classes foster a more student-paced learning environment, but according to Mr. Spahn, who has been a part of the IB program as both a student and a teacher, they also help to build a classroom culture of collaboration.
Well, whether it's IB or not, smaller class sizes are always a good thing in terms of an academic environment because it gives students more one-on-one time with the teacher. It gives them more opportunity to kind of collaborate with each other more frequently. So in other words, you can talk to the same person about the same topic 5-6 times, whereas, if you're in a larger class, you might talk to different people, which that has its advantages too. You can get different perspectives, but sometimes bouncing the same ideas off of the same person can help spark that sort of brainstorming mentality.
Olin Towery, a current IB student pursuing his full IB diploma, has also felt the benefits that come with the small class sizes of IB.
I joined IB it was definitely like the college benefits. It gets you ready for college. And it also shows colleges, you're ready to challenge yourself academically and extracurricularly. And honestly, the social benefits too. Like, it's really nice being in a small, tight-knit environment. You know everybody. You really know the teachers too. And this really helps with like letters of recommendation and such. So at first I just joined for like the educational benefits, but now I've realized that there's so much more to it than just school.
Before even graduating from the program, Towery has already begun to feel the benefits of IB.
Without IB, I wouldn't have had the opportunity to get full rides to top colleges like Brown and Duke and Yale, and it's kind of like a double-edged sword. You're taking on a lot of work. It's a huge workload, but it actually does pay off, and it offers you these scholarships and opportunities that otherwise you wouldn't have been granted.
You may be wondering, what type of students should join the IB program and take advantage of these benefits? Well, according to Mr. Wilt, it's not about the students with the highest grades, it's a question of motivation.
I think a student who is a self-starter, or who is going to be okay with taking their education and class in their own hands. Like, you can't just show up to class and then I spoon feed you information and then you go home and don't think about it anymore. There's got to be some type of personal investment. So anybody who wants to learn for learning's sake.
Learning to deal with the workload isn't purely a downside of IB though. For students that are interested in pursuing higher education or a similarly challenging environment, IB can teach valuable lessons.
I've definitely learned to just get it done. Nothing is gonna change that due date, so you might as well just put on some Drake and churn that paper out. I guess IB also taught me to be interdisciplinary. I can combine English and science, and instead of separating both and making them two distinct fields, I can learn about both simultaneously.
There's no doubt that the IB program is a lot of work, but what makes the program attractive is that the work serves an extremely valuable purpose. No matter what career path you're interested in, joining the IB program will teach you how to think critically, work hard as an individual and with others, and most importantly, succeed. If you're interested in joining IB, you can email Mrs. Broadway, the IB coordinator who oversees the program. Also, don't be afraid to ask any questions you might have to IB students or teachers. Let's turn things back over to Natalie.
Thanks for tuning in to our newly updated Gamecock News Show. Our school has so much to offer, and we hope that you have learned more information about different areas that you may be interested in. We're excited to continue to spotlight different announcements, events, students, and programs around Sumter High. If you would like to join us in covering everything going on, please email Mr. Edge, and he'll provide more information about how to join our club. It takes a lot of work to cover so much every single month, so we would love to see you at our next meeting. If you have any feedback, we'd appreciate it if you would email Mr. Edge as well. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you on our next episode.